देखो मेरा 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 अनम्यूट है ना।
नमस्कार। लर्निंग नेवर स्टॉप सीरीज के आज के प्रथम सत्र में मैं आशीष अरोड़ा, प्रवक्ता डाइट पीतमपुरा, आप सबका हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। मैं श्री रजनीश जी, डायरेक्टर एससीईआरटी दिल्ली, श्री नाहर सिंह जी, एकेडमिक हेड एससीईआरटी और एलएनएस की पूरी टेक्निकल टीम का आभारी हूं, जिन्होंने हमें आज ये अवसर प्रदान किया। आज का विषय है आर्ट इंटीग्रेटेड लर्निंग, कला समेत अधिगम, और आज के मुख्य प्रवक्ता हैं श्रीमती मृदुला भारद्वाज, जो कि डाइट पीतमपुरा में वर्क एक्सपीरियंस डिपार्टमेंट में प्रवक्ता के पद पर कार्यरत हैं। मैं आपसे निवेदन करता हूं कि आप इस सत्र की शुरुआत करें। मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं। नमस्कार।
नमस्कार। जैसे कि आशीष ने बताया, आज का विषय है आर्ट इंटीग्रेटेड लर्निंग, यानी कला समेकित अधिगम। मैं शुरुआत करना चाहूंगी। सबसे पहले दो कोट्स के साथ मैं शुरुआत करूंगी। There is a lack of mediation and creativity everywhere, especially in schools. The arts are missing from our lives and we are giving way to violence. By Yehudi Menuhin. Another one is literature, music, and the arts all are necessary for the development and flowering of a student to form an integrated total personality. This is a very famous quote by Shri Ravindranath Tagore ji. Since independence, various policy documents have mentioned art education as an area of immense importance for overall growth of the students. Let us see what NCF 2005 says. It says learning through the arts should take place throughout school education, right from pre-primary till senior secondary stage. Art education should be a compulsory subject up to class 10. 90% of teaching learning in pre-primary and primary classes should be transacted through arts. Art should be given significance in the curriculum and should not remain restricted to entertaining and prestige earning activity only. Art should be a medium of self-expression, creativity, sense of freedom, and thus it should lead to psychological health of the students. Integration of arts is really needed in the formal schooling system to retain a unique cultural identity in all its diversity and richness. Now, let us talk about the efforts done by National Council of Education, Research and Training. NCERT initiated Art Integrated Learning in 2010. Focus group discussions were carried out. 7 modules for teachers training were designed and developed. Art Integrated Learning was run as a pilot project in Delhi from 2010 to 2012. National seminar was organized in December 2012 in NCERT, which was based on research findings by DITE, Rajendra Nagar, Delhi, and Jamia Millia Islamia University. These findings suggested art integrated schools performed much better in curricular as well as co-curricular areas. Then national level research being carried out in 15 states of India by NCERT and encouraging results were obtained. Thousands of teachers have been trained by this pedagogy across the country. Art integrated learning is now a part of Nishtha modules as well as training. Now, let us see the latest discovery in regarding art integrated learning. The latest work is done by CBSE. They have taken out a circular on 14th May 2020, which says that CBSE has decided to introduce art integrated project work for classes 1 to 10th to promote art integrated learning in schools for joyful and competency based learning. This will be effective from the coming session, that is 2020-21. This will be used for internal assessment purposes. For classes 1 to 8, one art integrated learning project will be done in a year by the students, which will be interdisciplinary in nature, involving all the subjects. For classes 9th and 10th, one project per subject will be done by the students in a academic year. Now, let us see what is art. Art, as we all know, is a universal form of communication and creative expression. We express our experiences and perceptions in various forms. It is a multisensory language that incorporates many historical and cultural references. So, art is perceived as a natural and active way of learning. Now, there are two art forms mainly. One is visual art and another is performing art. As the name suggests, visual art is tangible. It is an artistic expression which can be stored and we can display it as it is for viewing and also for the record purpose. For example, drawing, painting, sculpture, print, design, collage, mask, puppet, applied art and craft, photography, clay modeling, and installation, etc. Another form is performing art, which can be, as the name suggests, which can be viewed, heard, or performed. For example, music, dance, theater, martial arts, puppetry, mime, storytelling, cinema. Now, let us see what is art integrated learning. In art integrated learning, art becomes the medium of teaching and learning. It is a child-centered approach, totally based on constructivism. It is a process-oriented approach. Abstract concepts within the subjects can be concretized using different art forms. Art integrated learning involves thinking, imagining, exploring, making, experiencing, expressing, verifying, and applying the knowledge. So it is very much holistic, joyful, and experiential learning. Now, we want to see what is the difference between art and art integrated learning. As we all know, art is a subject, whereas art integrated learning is a pedagogical approach. Core concepts of arts are taken while teaching arts, whereas in AIL, abstract concepts of subjects are explored using different art forms. Now, before proceeding further, I would like to discuss in detail what is the need of art integrated learning, or in short form we say AIL. As we all know, art integrated learning involves working on all the three domains simultaneously. Cognitive domain is active when students are thinking, they're imagining, they're understanding, they're constructing knowledge, and the psychomotor domain is effective when they're working through their entire body, and affective domain when they can apply that knowledge. Another point is it provides means to bridge the content of different subjects in logical, learner centered, and meaningful ways. We all know art is organic to human beings. Children enjoy learning through arts and they construct knowledge happily. Students are very much spontaneous in activities that are art oriented. They can communicate their thoughts and feelings in art much before they develop language based meaning of expressing their ideas and emotions. So, art provides multi-sensory experiences. AIL leads to social and emotional development of the learners. It enables the children to use multiple skills and abilities. AIL makes inclusion a very smooth and natural process. Also, art integrated learning makes other subjects more enjoyable and thereby improve learning process, and it increases attendance, so the problem of dropout can be checked by AIL. Art helps in brain development and uses different parts of the brain and helps students think and analyze. Here, I would like to talk about the research conducted by Dr. Vivek Banagal. He is an active researcher and a psychologist. He says education through art is like a brain tonic which stimulates multiple areas in the brain and get different areas of the brain talk to each other better, connect to each other better, so that students can learn all the subjects in a better manner. We can have better engineers, better doctors, not only better artists, dancers, painters, singers, or filmmakers. Students can be at their best in whatever area they want to proceed. So it has been proved by his research that music can activate the area of the brain which is responsible for empathy and social behavior. Also, dancing, not only doing dance, but even seeing dance can activate the area of the brain which is used for logic in mathematics. So, from his research, we get to know that how much art integrated learning can be useful for the learners. Another point, art integrated learning enhances creativity and aesthetic sensibility. It addresses diverse learning styles. Students develop skills that help them become lifelong learners. It is an interdisciplinary and multi-dimensional approach wherein various disciplines are taught together, and it leads to various dimensions of teaching and learning. This is indeed learning by doing. So, learning becomes very easy, interesting, joyful, and permanent for the students. Let us see what are the energizers. We use energizers in art integrated learning. What these energizers or icebreakers are. They are stimulating, very simple, short, easy to do, and thought provoking activities that educates and entertains the students simultaneously and make the learning process very much joyful. Icebreakers are useful in channelizing energy of the students. They helps in maintaining focus, alertness, and making class very lively. Energizer, or as we call them, icebreaker, also they can be used post assembly, post lunch, when the students are scattered and they are not focused. So we can bring them at the same pace. Icebreakers can be done in the beginning, in between, and after the lesson also, to bring the focus of all the students towards teaching learning process. These energizers, they create a joyful, creative, and interactive atmosphere. They help to overcome shyness and all the behavioral obstacles. Students, they shed their inhibitions while doing these small, enjoyable activities. Students are thoughtful, relaxed, and very active. They develop friendly team spirit. They provide platform for free expression in a non-judgmental way. This energizer makes the learner physically and mentally ready for work. Now let us see some of the examples of these energizers or icebreaker. The first one is introducing oneself. In this energizer, each child steps forward, recites his or her name in three different ways and do a different action. For example, one way could be reciting the name with love. Say, I'm Mridula. Then reciting in anger, I'm Mridula. Then another one is reciting in surprise, I'm Mridula. So this way, the student will be introduced to each other. They will be better connected with each other. Now, another energizer is identify the sounds. The teacher can ask to sit absolutely silent and make a list of sounds students hear in next 5 to 10 minutes. Long list will be prepared by all the students. Then the teacher can draw the attention of the students to the fact that we hear so much but listen so little. So the children will be more focused now. Another one is do the opposite. If the teacher says sit, the children should stand, and so on. With this energizer, the student can be ready for the activities or for language learning. Another energizer is detecting shapes. Here, ask students to go around the room, detect the various shapes in the room. It may be round, square, triangles, rectangles, etc. Each student can write down these discoveries and they can be shared to teach mathematics later on. Now, I would like to focus on some of the strategies to integrate art with learning. What exactly has to be done by the teacher to execute various art activities in learning? First and foremost thing is learning outcomes should be decided by the teacher. Then the teacher should consider course content, facilities in hand, number of students, material and time available. The teacher must plan quite easy, simple, interesting, hands-on experience which involves all the participants. Art forms which children are familiar with should be considered, and we should plan art experiences which can be directly linked with the course content. Multisensory experiences should be planned. That should include observation, exploration, experimentation, and creativity. The teacher must integrate different art forms, be it visual or performing art, because children like change, they love newness, new material, and challenge. In art integrated learning, one activity can be designed in various ways. The teacher must brainstorm ideas that relate content from all subjects to be integrated. The activity, subjects, and material should be decided according to the age and stage of the development of learner. Last but not the least, the teacher must decide the clear assessment techniques appropriate to all the subjects. So now let us sail through the various art experiences and how we are going to apply various steps in these art experiences. So the first art experience is let us fly an aeroplane. This has been designed for class 3. The duration is 45 minutes. Approach is art integrated learning, which is interdisciplinary in nature. So art experience is through visual art, that is craft work. We'll make an aeroplane with paper. The material required is paper of different kinds like newspaper, magazine paper, or it can be used chart paper also. Now, the learning outcomes. for mathematics. Here, children estimate closely the actual distance between two objects using non-standard measurement. Second, find actual distance between two objects using non-standard measurement. Also, the students apply mathematics concepts in their daily life. Now let us see how it will be conducted. Here, each student will make an aeroplane with the paper of different kinds. Children will write their names and favorite destination on the aeroplane. They'll make 4 lines of 10 children each with one group leader for each line. Then students will go to the ground for flying of aeroplane. Children will stand at the baseline and each one of them will fly the aeroplane one by one. 2-3 rounds can be given to children to enjoy completely this flying experience. Children will talk, they will share their joy and try to fly the aeroplane at the farthest possible. Now, we can ask any child to choose one of the aeroplanes and measure the distance in number of footsteps. Class will be asked to guess the distance in number of footsteps from the baseline to the chosen aeroplane. When the child starts measuring with his footsteps, then stop the child in between, say after 10 steps, and ask the class to guess the distance again. They can change their previous guess. One more chance can be given to guess if it is required. Then one more aeroplane is chosen and the activity is repeated. This way, children keep on estimating the distance between aeroplanes and the estimation improves closest to the actual distance. Every child can do this with his or her aeroplane. Now, teacher can plan a follow-up activity for further integration of subjects. Children can be asked to narrate their flying experience. They can be asked to write what did they like the most in aeroplane flying experience. This can be related very much with the language. The teacher can pose questions for group discussion like what are the possible reasons behind aeroplane A going a longer distance than aeroplane B? Expression may come like heavy paper aeroplane does not take long flights. Questions for further discussion and exploration could be how do birds fly? Are they so light? Then what do you think makes such heavy aeroplanes fly? Here the students will think and they will create knowledge. Now integration with other subjects. With mathematics, non-standard measurements, numbers, shape, size, length, distance, weight of the paper. In environmental science, thickness and movement of an aeroplane, wind and direction of aeroplane, it connects scientific concepts with daily life. And with language, description of work in oral and written form, vocabulary development, simple and compound sentences. Now, let's go to the assessment part. Here, assessment will also be done through arts. Give each student 5 yellow cards. After flying the aeroplane, ask children to choose any of the aeroplanes on the ground. Ask them to guess the distance and write on one of the yellow cards. Tell them to measure actual distance with non-standard measurement and check if it is close to the guessed one. Discard the card if the difference is more than 5 units and keep the card if the distance is less than 5 units. Repeat the process for 5 different aeroplanes and write the guesses on 5 yellow cards. Let each child check how many yellow cards are left with him or her. If yellow cards are less in number, practice more to sharpen estimation. In this activity, key points should be kept in mind by the teacher. Number 1, avoid announcing that we'll be going to study distance measurement. Say, let's go and fly the aeroplanes. Then let the children enjoy the entire process of aeroplane flying and making. Then gradually bring into the conversation, how far is one's aeroplane? Can you guess the distance in number of footsteps? Give enough scope of making mistakes, self correction, and helping each other during this entire process. The teacher needs to motivate and encourage peer dialogue. Do not announce one winner and let it be a joyful learning experience for everyone that can ensure 100% participation of all the learners. They will feel confident that they have done this activity so very well. Appreciate children for their efforts like initiative taking ability, peer support, patience, respect towards others, listening capacity, waiting for the turn to speak. Teacher can also plan the display wherein arrange all the aeroplanes on a display visible to all. Children will put all the aeroplanes on the display even if any one of them is torn out during the flying process. This is done to value each child and give due respect to their efforts. Let us discuss the art experience too, that is about transforming spaces. This art experience is from performing art, that is theater. This activity has been designed for class 4 students. The duration here is 45 minutes again. Approach is art integrated learning, and subject covered here is environmental science. The learning outcomes are for environmental science, children get familiarized with topography of various landforms. Procedure goes like this. Here, first of all, a icebreaker will be done. That is, play small transformation game with the whole class, like walk by imagining the floor to be hot, change the direction to very cold surface with rainy water all around, or maybe sand, etc. Make groups of children and discuss topographical features within the groups. The classroom or open space can be transformed imaginatively to desert, say forest, river, mountain, and other landforms. Suppose teacher gives a transformation call to desert. Students will respond to the call by enacting as if they're walking through the desert. It is hot. Their feet are burning. Hot wind is blowing. They will now build up a story of an adventure through the desert. Likewise, the space can be transformed to mountains, rivers, forests, etc. Students will be aware about the topography of various landforms. Space can be transformed as per the need of the topic or the concept. Here we see transformation of spaces is a game of belief and making it into reality by mere imagination. Audience see the transformed space through the belief of the doer. If a child has really gone into the detailed description of any topographical region, he will transform the space in more realistic way. This in itself become an evaluation activity as well. A lot of teamwork and working towards the goal goes into this theatrical experience. Now let us see how we can integrate with other subjects. In EVS, we can do topography of various landforms. In mathematics, effective spatial arrangement. In art, it is creativity, that is transforming a space with imagination. Language, gestural communication skills. Here also, some of the key points should be remembered so that students can freely sail through the art experience. Teacher needs to discuss in detail with the groups like the topographical feature so that it helps students in enacting the transformation properly. Don't direct the students on how should they act to transform the space. have complete faith in them. Engage the other groups in observing closely and guessing the topographical reason. Appreciation is very important here. The teacher can find the positives in the performance and the efforts of all the students. Avoid commenting on the acting skills of the children because we are focusing here not on the skills but on learning. Even if children judge each other's performance, refrain from such comments like the best act or this group needs improvement in performance, etc. Again, the focus is not on the skill but on learning and enjoyment. Let us see art experience 3 now. This is role play. And art experience is of performing art, that is theater. This has been taken for class 7th. The subject cover here will be social science. Topic is social issues. So here I would like to speak what is the difference between a role play done in AIL and it is done in art as a core subject. Role play is done in natural settings of the classroom in art integrated learning. It is different than the drama that is part of core theatre. In classroom theatre, role play is organized and scripted by the students themselves in their own way. No special stage or costumes are required. Students can choose anything, whatever is available in the classroom for costumes. Classroom becomes the work area. No long rehearsals are required for the role play, unlike in drama. A short discussion among the group is enough. That is why it becomes a complete learning experience for the children as they undergo a lot of steps while planning for the role play. Like they'll be thinking about the subject matter, giving it form, making scenes, dialogues, character selection. So a good team emerges after each such art experience. Now, let us focus on the learning outcomes. Learning outcome of social science. Children describe a social problem and they get aware and sensitized about that problem. They will think towards finding solution for the problem. The procedure is teacher can make 4 groups in a class. For that, icebreakers can be used. Discuss social issues with the class. Ask them to choose one topic per group. For example, topics chosen can be the corona pandemic, which is suitable to the current time, cleanliness, illiteracy, gender bias, etc. Students prepare role play in groups. Group leader may be decided by the group. Teamwork, discussion, script writing, selection and direction of ideas, selection of characters, choosing roles, dialogue delivery, sequencing, and flow of play is entirely done by all the students. Teacher will just act as a facilitator, will go in each group and simply observe the children. Each group make their presentation now. Other groups observe and discuss on the issue presented by the group. Teacher also gives qualitative feedback. Now teacher can assess through observation schedule, record anecdotes during the entire process. Let us see how this activity can be integrated with other subjects. With social science, it will aware about social issues. Students will think deeper for the raised concern and solutions. They will have empathy and concern for the society. In language, communication skills and soft skills will be developed. Slogan writing on the topic can be done as far as language is concerned. Now, again, key points to remember while sailing through this art experience. The teacher should let the children take the entire honors of designing, planning, and preparing for the play. She or he must restrain from directing or helping the students with the dialogues or character selection. Have faith in the students. Refrain from assessing the performance of the group. Appreciation is very important. Appreciate children for their intense discussion in the group and the process they have undergone to bring up the role play. Now, let us see another art experience which is about marble painting. The class here is second, subject is environmental science. The topic is oil floats on water and the sea animals. The material required here is oil paint that can be blue, sky blue, green, white in color, plain white paper, rough cloth, and a newspaper. Learning outcomes are in environmental science, student tells oil floats on water. They can name the sea animals, differentiate between sea and pond animals. The procedure goes like this. The teacher puts drops of oil color in water and show it to the children. Children can observe how the drops of oil floats on the water. Then teacher can spread the color in water with stick. Students will observe the pattern formation. Then place a sheet on it, take it out and show. Children will also place the sheet, take it out and make the pattern themselves. Display all the sheets on wall or it can be displayed on floor also. Discuss what does this blue-green base looks like. Children may say this looks like sky or maybe a sea. Then we may choose sea with the consent of students. Students now will make sea animals and paste them on the base prepared. Discuss why certain animals, like pond animals, are not part of it. Wait for the observation and sharing by the students. Now, see how this can be integrated with other subjects. In environmental science, children will be able to find reasons why oil floats in water, what are the sea animals, and what are the pond animals. In mathematics, they will observe pattern. In language, their communication skills will be strengthened. Now, again, key points to be remembered by the teacher while doing this art experience in the classroom. She should let every child have their hands onto the marble painting experience. Don't do it for them. Let them do it their way, even if it doesn't come out as per maybe the expectations of the teacher. Give children space and freedom for learning. Refrain from comparative appreciation among children. Display all the sheets of the children, even if they're incomplete or torn out. This is to respect their efforts and bring ownership. Motivate peer support and peer dialogue. Don't prompt in between the discussion. Let children share what they truly feel like saying and sharing. Allow free flow of sharing by the children. Refrain from giving even gestural hints for a correct or wrong answer. Let the child present his or her perspective. Now, let us look towards the overall assessment in art integrated learning. Art integrated learning as a pedagogy provides opportunity and various spaces for assessment as learning. It goes throughout the art experience, assessment for learning and assessment of learning. Assessment begins with identification of learning outcomes and occurs at various points within the teaching learning process. Since the medium of assessment is art, the teacher can assess both verbal and non-verbal expressions of the students. Portfolios, descriptive and anecdotal recording, observation schedule, personal notes of teacher, displays, project work are some of the tools and techniques of the assessment used in art integrated learning pedagogy. Assessment techniques in AIL are non-judgmental, non-comparative, non-competitive, and non-threatening. Now I would like to share some of the efforts of Diet Pritampura students. They prepared various artifacts like puppet, mask, clay work was done by them, and folk art was also done by the students. Trainees used these puppet, mask during storytelling, poem recitation, or for various narration purposes. With clay, they made animals, fruits, vegetables, and various toys. Here you can see the elephants prepared with the waste Saffola cans. Folk art was also done by the Diet Pritampura students so that they'll be acquainted with the arts of various states of India, like Madhubani art was discussed, Gond art was discussed, and Worli art was also done by Diet Pritampura trainees. All these experience they use for classroom teaching learning during micro teaching as well as during the school experience program. The schools in which they carried out these activities, the students were very happy with these activities and they really liked all the teacher trainees. An exhibition was organized for display of all these artifacts by the Diet trainees. So now I would like to conclude, as we have gone through various art experiences, that art integrated classrooms provide learning experiences that engage the learner's mind, heart, and body. Competency of maths, science, social science, and language is developed in a very easy and effective manner. AIL ensures participation of all the learners. It develops life skills and make active, confident, and independent learners. AIL makes learning easy, interesting, experiential, joyful, and hence holistic. Knowledge is constructed by the students, so it leads to permanent learning. Students become aware of rich cultural heritage of our country. This makes school a fun place to explore and learn together, not a syllabus to be completed. So I can say art integrated learning is a complete package. Some of the references I would like to discuss here, I have referred to National Curriculum Framework 2005, especially focus paper, page number 8 and 9, the training package on art education for primary teachers 2010-2012 by National Council of Education, Research and Training, and Nishtha training package. I extend my special thanks to Professor Pavan Sudhir, who is head of the Department of Education in Art and Aesthetics in NCERT. She is the pioneer of this approach. My special thanks to Ms. Nirupma Sharma, who is a primary teacher at South MCD School, Jatpur number 1, Delhi. She has been taking art integrated learning for the many years in her classroom, and her class is truly a happy class. So I thank entire SCRT and DIET family, and I wish all the teachers should make art integrated learning a part of their classroom so that we can have happy learning. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
हाँ, हेलो हेलो।
जी,
हाँ
yes.
मैम, एक सवाल है। आपने बहुत ही अच्छे से सब कुछ बताया कि आर्ट इंटीग्रेशन जो है वो किस प्रकार से क्लासरूम के लिए बेहतर विकल्प है, बच्चों को समझाने के लिए, उनका एक्सपीरियंस अनुभव कराने के लिए। तो आप ये इस पे थोड़ा सा प्रकाश डालिए कि आर्ट जो सब्जेक्ट है वो अगर इंटीग्रेट किया जाए इंक्लूसिव क्लासरूम के लिए वो कैसा है।
वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन आशीष जी। इंक्लूसिव क्लासरूम के लिए बहुत ही बेहतरीन रहेगा, क्योंकि बच्चे इसमें अपना एग्जैक्ट एक्सप्रेशन देते हैं और वो अपनी सारी सेंसेस का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं बात करती हूँ, जब बच्चे ग्रुप में काम कर रहे होते हैं और डिफरेंट एबिलिटी के बच्चे वहां पर हैं, तो एक दूसरे से सीखते हैं। जैसे कि एक ब्लाइंड स्टूडेंट है, तो उसकी हो सकता है देखने की सेंसेस बहुत कारगर नहीं है, बट उसकी सुनने की सेंसेस बहुत शार्प है। और जब ग्रुप में बच्चे आपस में डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं, तो बहुत ध्यान से सुन रहा है और उसकी लर्निंग बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से हो रही है। तो इस प्रकार डिफरेंट क्षमताओं वाले बच्चे आपस में जब ग्रुप में मिल के एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं, तो वो एक दूसरे से सीख रहे हैं। उसके अलावा आर्ट इंटीग्रेटेड लर्निंग में बहुत सारे अलग अलग तरीके हैं। एक ही एक्टिविटी को हम विभिन्न तरीकों से करवा सकते हैं। तो बच्चों की जितनी भी एबिलिटी है, जितनी भी उनकी क्षमताएं हैं, उनको वो साथ मिलके ग्रुप में एक दूसरे की हेल्प करते हुए और एक दूसरे को कम्प्लीमेंट करते हुए वो उसको पूर्ण करते हैं। और यहाँ पे मैं चाहूंगी कि कहना ये कि ये एवरी चाइल्ड इज यूनिक और मल्टीपल इंटेलिजेंस मॉडल यहाँ पे लगता है कि हर बच्चे में कुछ ना कुछ खास है। एक बात मुझ में खास है, दो बातें आप में खास हैं, तो हम मिलजुल के उस लर्निंग को बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्टिव बना पाते हैं। आई थिंक आई हैव डन।
बहुत अच्छा आपने बताया कि किस तरह से हम आर्ट को इंक्लूसिव क्लासरूम में इफेक्टिवली, इस तरह से हम आर्ट इंटीग्रेशन हम एक इंक्लूसिव क्लासरूम में इफेक्टिवली करवा सकते हैं। मैम आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है। आज आपने बहुत कुछ हमें आर्ट के बारे में बताया, आर्ट इंटीग्रेशन किस तरह से इफेक्टिव होता है क्लासरूम में। इसके लिए मैं आपका धन्यवाद करता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
सारी एससीईआरटी डाइट फैमिली का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।